Conservative media have been making the case that it doesn't matter what special counsel Robert Mueller finds because the investigation is biased, illegitimate, and corrupt. Now, it's a pretty flimsy case that they're making. The denizens of Trump TV tend not to mention, for one thing, that Mueller is a Republican. But that hasn't slowed them down. Lately, they've seized on the fact that Mueller reassigned a top FBI agent in the Russia probe named Peter Strzok over anti-Trump texts. Mueller removed Strzok from the investigation months ago, back in the summer, as soon as he learned of the text. But Strzok has nonetheless become a central figure in the Trump TV fever swamps. And today brought a highly orchestrated attempt to further the narrative. In what one source called a highly unusual move, the Department of Justice secretly invited reporters to view the texts. And then, at an oversight hearing with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, House Republicans used the text to further their attack on Mueller.
How these people, the group he put together, is considered unbiased, I don't know how anyone can possibly reach that conclusion.
This is disgusting, unaccountable bias, and there's no way that could not affect a person's work.
This is unbelievable. And I'm here to tell you, Mr. Rosenstein, I think the public trust in this whole thing is gone. You're the guy in charge. You could disband the Mueller special prosecutor, and you can do what we've all called for. Appoint a second special counsel to look into this.
Rosenstein responded that a person's political beliefs do not render him or her incapable of doing unbiased work.
We recognize we have employees with political opinions, and it's our responsibility to make sure those opinions do not influence their actions. Pardon me. And so I believe that Director Mueller understands that and that he is running that office appropriately.
Joining me now, MSNBC analyst Josh Earnest, who served as White House press secretary under President Obama. Let's start with the text. So you've got these texts between two different agents, Strzok and another FBI agent, and they are, some of them are pretty negative about Donald Trump. Some of them about him actually warming to Hillary Clinton, liking Hillary Clinton. If the shoe were on the other foot, you were on this program, and there was an FBI text about Hillary Clinton in the midst of that investigation, wouldn't you be saying the same thing that Jim Jordan's saying?
Chris, I wouldn't. And there are a couple of important facts here that are important for this context. And to believe this Republican hallucination requires you to forget a whole lot of basic facts about the 2016 election. And the most important of those is simply this, Chris. In 2015 and 2016, there are hours of archival footage sitting at NBC News right now of me on camera, standing at the White House podium, being asked by journalists questions about news reports about the ongoing investigation of Hillary Clinton. Many of those news reports were based on anonymous sources at the Department of Justice. And newsflash, those news stories were not helpful to Secretary Clinton's campaign. So the idea that somehow there is this deep-rooted conspiracy inside the Department of Justice that was pulling for Hillary Clinton in the presidential campaign is astonishingly dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And here's the other key fact of this, Chris, that we only know now and we didn't know at the time. It also turns out that at some point during the presidential campaign, the Department of Justice actually did initiate an investigation into Donald Trump. Somehow that didn't leak. You would think that if there were this grand conspiracy inside the Department of Justice to benefit Hillary Clinton, somehow that might have leaked out, but it did not. And so, this whole thing is just, look, you described it as sort of the fever swamp. It is. This is a Republican fever dream. They are desperate to try to undermine what is a by-the-book investigation that Robert Mueller is conducting and is apparently progressing.
Every critic, every detractor will have to bow down to President Trump.